everyone, welcome back to QSR Nation, your weekly source of food service marketing and business strategies for success. Here are your hosts, Josh, Beth, Tony, and Grant from the PFS Brands National Headquarters in Holt Summit, Missouri.
Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to another episode of QSR Nation. Cue Beth's laugh as always during this.
I didn't even laugh that time.
As always, we have Josh, Beth, Tony, and Grant coming today from the PFS Brands National Headquarters in Holt Summit, Missouri to talk about food service marketing and business strategies for success. Today is Beth's topic once again. So this is going to be
2 weeks in a row in case anyone was counting.
It's just going to be a good one. She had a great topic from Inc. magazine, right? That's Inc. magazine. That's inc.com. It is 3 things your business must do to remain competitive. What are your initial thoughts, Tony and Grant?
Well, I'll let Grant go first.
To remain competitive, the world changes so fast nowadays. So the ability to adapt is going to be
Get off
critical.
my grass.
I hope that one makes the list.
Yeah, well, the first one, we'll just kind of dive in and kind of talk through each one of these before moving on, is number 1, innovate to differentiate. That's kind of hard to say.
Innovate to differentiate.
It's a good slogan. We should put that on a t-shirt.
Thinking about
So-
that. What does that mean?
So, like what this says is the center of capitalism is that there is no competition, or is that there is competition, and this competition is relentless. The only way to stay ahead of the game is offer something different to consumers. In the world of sameness,
You know what pops
all
out
it
to me?
takes is just a tiny. Don't interrupt me.
Oh, sorry.
It's just a tiny element that sets you apart.
You know what pops out to me, like right off the bat?
What's that?
Disney Plus launched last week, and
Oh,
now
yeah.
all of a sudden it seems like Netflix has I think that's like the biggest competitor Netflix has seen since
Right.
they've started.
Yeah, and didn't they just sign like a big contract with like Nickelodeon now to bring that
Netflix
to
did,
Netflix?
yeah.
Yeah,
Netflix did,
to combat that. So
And isn't that supposed to be released like January 1st or something?
I'm not for
I
sure.
think.
I think so.
By the way, side note, did you guys know, just on the topic of movies and stuff like that, Redbox is 17 years old today?
17?
I did not think that it was that old.
Wow.
I've never
17. I don't know. I got a
use
coupon
it.
for
I don't
him.
know. I can't remember last time I used Redbox.
Oh, I use it a lot.
I wonder where they originated. They probably didn't have that many Redbox locations.
17 years ago.
17
It's
years
right
ago.
Yeah, probably not.
I said where?
Oh, I'm sorry. They said when. I was like, well, around 17 years ago.
Where was it, Beth? If you're going to bring facts like that, you need to say where it's at.
Oh, fact check.
Oh, hashtag.
So, Tony, what are your thoughts on innovate
guys.
to differentiate? I'm looking up when Redbox was started. I'm not just on my phone.
Yes, you have to be innovative. You have to, have those things that are new and appealing. But you have to be careful not to be gimmicky. I mean, in the restaurant business, your consistency is what is going to keep people coming back because they know that it's always going to be good food. You just have to be careful, I think, with your innovation that you don't get too far out there because if you do get gimmicky, you can create some new traffic, but if it isn't consistent with what you do as a brand, that could also be, I think, kind of dangerous because I think you need to be more consistent. Be innovative. Like Grant said in the beginning, be flexible. Understand that your business model needs to be somewhat nimble to reflect the demographic changes or trends, but you don't want to lose yourself and your identity in the pursuit of innovation just because of the fact that then you really don't know who you are.
That's true, Tony. But
I know it's true. That's why I said it.
But so with some of the innovations in food service, like right now, delivery services are a big thing. So that can go in with your consistency. So how will food service locations or restaurants maintain that level of consistency whenever they're now being delivered by a third party service? So
Yeah, once the food's
There you
handed
go.
off, you can't really control it as much anymore. So.
yeah, so they got to maintain that consistency.
Yeah, and there are like delivery containers now that actually have like tamper evident seals to go with them. So I mean, if you are considering using a delivery service, to reach that part of the innovation, make sure that you're thinking through that as well. That's one way to control your consistency a little bit is through those tamper evident seals.
Yeah.
Or if you have fried chicken, you want to keep it crispy. You can't have it closed over. it has to have those air pockets, air holes, so it keeps the chicken crispy.
Nicely
Just in
done.
case. If we're
Well,
ever
talking
looking
about
at
chicken
fried
too,
chicken.
whenever we talk about consistency, but it doesn't necessarily have to be about the product, is like we brought it up before, but Chick-fil-A, their differentiator is because they're so polite and courteous every single time that you go. I mean, when you really think about it, they don't offer any other products that other restaurants don't technically offer. I mean, everyone offers chicken tenders, everyone offers chicken sandwiches, but people go there because of the service and how they stand out different, because no matter what, you're going to get the same awesome service no matter where you go. So that's the other way that you can think about trying to be differentiated in the market, whether or not you want to have a different product, or if you want to have a different type of item, whether you want to be farm to table or whatever your signature item is, you can also make your differentiator your service.
When I think that authentic customer relationship, it really kind of disappeared over the last couple of decades in a pursuit to the bottom line. And so as we're looking at higher food costs, higher wages, that authenticity, I think, is going to hold just because of the fact that people at the end of the day will spend more money for a better experience.
For sure. Yep, I agree on that 100%.
Those grilled chicken nuggets too are really good though.
I've never had them.
Oh my gosh, they're so good.
Yeah, they got good dipping sauces there.
And they're healthy for you.
Yeah, for sure. So let's move on to number 2 of the, what was this called again? 3 things your business must do to remain competitive by Inc.com. It is number 2 is know your consumer. That seems pretty obvious, but it is often overlooked, and to the chagrin of the company that does overlook it.
Exactly. Well, and you have to make sure that you're not just missing out on your consumers that are current, but you're looking ahead and understanding what is the next generation of consumers wanting. Is it because they want to have more, they want to have sustainable products, they want to have healthier options? You need to make sure that you understand not just today's customer, but tomorrow's customer as well.
I mean, you need to make sure you're setting those customer expectation goals out there. I think so many times businesses get caught up in the day-to-day that they might be thinking about what we're doing for our Christmas promotion, right prior to Thanksgiving, but they don't think about, like you said, the next generation. I mean, you should have your next quarter plan, your next year plan, your 3-year, your 5-year, 10-year. What are you looking at in terms of how are you catering to those different people groups and the different age separations? I mean, they buy differently, they look at things differently. So you don't have to be like over the top about it, but you at least need to have it on your radar so that you can be a sustainable business beyond 2020.
So I thought Grant was going to chime in there.
Yeah,
no,
too.
no,
I'm
no.
thinking actually on the social media side of things. So each different social media platform could have a little bit different audience.
Right.
So you make sure you want to tailor your message to the consumers that are on those different social media platforms.
Gary Vee, he just dropped that deck the other day, and I thought it was really awesome because he talked about being on
He just
multiple.
said drop the deck. It's like dropping the beat.
That's right. Or
Dropped
drop
a new
mic.
album.
That's right. And but I mean, that's one of the things that has made this guy so successful is he doesn't really care whether it's a fad, whether it's TikTok or Vine or Snapchat or whatever. He doesn't care if it's a fad. He wants to be part of that in that moment because those people move to the next thing, and if they already know him, then they follow him. So not being afraid to embrace multiple platforms on social media is also going to be key to reach that consumer and learn to know who your consumer truly is. Because a lot of people will say, well, everybody eats, so everybody's my consumer. And that's not really true. I mean, yes, everybody eats, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get them by default. So you really need to look at how you segment that across the different platforms so you stay relevant.
Yeah. Speaking of TikTok, that's a fairly new one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's kind of like Vine, right? I haven't looked at it very much.
Vine and another platform actually merged and created TikTok, I believe.
Vine gone.
Yep. Bang on.
I did hear yesterday TikTok was actually Chinese social
Yeah.
media. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Oh, yep.
That's
Interesting.
where it
Fun fact.
originated.
Yep. Well, I think a good point to know your consumer is too. A lot of us fall into the pitfalls of thinking that your consumer is just like you. So you think you are your consumer, and you try to market to what you would like, but that could be completely wrong a lot of times.
Yep.
Well, absolutely, especially depending on your demographic around your location. I mean, people move, demographics shift in markets. I mean, what maybe at one point your consumer, was you, but that changes very rapidly today. So you've got to make sure you stay aware of who you're speaking to and how you're speaking to them.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that brings us to number 3. I think they all kind of go together and wrap themselves up. Number 3 is continually reinvent yourself, which kind of goes back to the innovate to differentiate, but also to know your consumer, because you continually need to be adapting to that new consumer base that might be coming in and out of your market.
Yeah, absolutely. That actually, I think I read on LinkedIn's idea of the day. It was like very similar. Hold on, let me pull this up. Why you guys?
Take your time.
Just
idea of the day today.
Okay.
This podcast brought to you by Inc.
This is the quote: "Expect change to be constant and demand of yourself to be open to change constantly, because we live in a time of exponential change."
It's like a horoscope, kind of.
I guess.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
But yeah, ability to adapt, very
Yep.
important.
It's very important.
That just went way deeper than I thought it was going to go.
But I think it's important to note that, obviously, like in the article, it talks about, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think that's a really good point, that obviously you want to have the same level of consistency. You want to be able to continuously bring out the great products that you have, but don't be afraid to introduce new items, even if it's just for going to be a limited time offer, just to see if it's going to work. I know that for PFS and Champs Chicken, we always try and introduce some kind of a new product every year, every other year, but that should be something that every company strives for, just to see what's going to be working and what's going to be trying to sway the market, just to get a little bit more revenue back into your pocket.
Another thing with this is there's been a lot of food service brands I've noticed have rebranded, Champs Chicken included, shout out.
Oh, nice.
But
That's a
like
good one.
Pizza Hut, Subway, Taco Bell, but a lot of them, and the main thing is just simplifying logos. They're less colors, less letters, words, or whatever, and just more simple logos. But that's another way, to continually reinvent yourself, or at least modify your brand image. So.
For sure. Yep. No, I think these are 3 pretty important ones you can kind of take home with you from the conversation today about, innovate to differentiate. That is really hard to say. Innovate to differentiate. Aluminum. Know your consumer and continually reinvent yourself. There's something in there for everybody that really can take away from
Exactly. We should post this article with the podcast.
that. Yeah, and Beth printed it off on poster size pieces of paper,
Thanks,
too,
Beth.
which is quite wasteful, but that's fine.
I'm still trying to print off posters that are the same size from yesterday.
Are you going to frame it too?
Yep, probably will.
We here at QSR Nation do not condone that activity. We are more about saving the environment. So,
Best a rebel.
Josh plants enough trees right now.
I do have an addiction to planting trees.
Shout out to Arbor Day.
No doubt, honestly. I got a lot of my money this
You want to
spring.
see a man be passionate? Talk about Arbor Day.
So does anybody have anything else add about the 3 things your business must do to retain or remain competitive?
I'd just say make sure that you stay aware of those things. Again, don't get so bogged down in the day-to-day that you don't take time to step away, take a 30,000-foot view of your business, where you're at, where you're going. Look at your goals. Are you heading those same directions? What adjustments do you need to make? But continue to stay relevant by staying aware.
There you go. And you can please subscribe to the podcast at pfsbrands.com/QSR Nation. No, /podcast. I haven't messed that up in a while. And then you can also listen to all of our other podcasts there. And then Beth would like to tell you to follow us as well.
Oh, please do. I don't know if you've heard that we also have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook,
YouTube.
and YouTube. So please follow us on all of the above at
And we
QSR
speak
Nation.
differently on all those.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. Follow our journey.
It's a way to have more content.
Exactly. And we also like just to post random pictures so you can follow us all around.
Yep. And then the lucky person out there could be the number 5 subscriber to our YouTube channel.
And if you are, something big is coming.
Yeah, thank you.
$5 gift card.
There we go. Okay, as we wrap it up
Grand slang.
For your team here at QSR Nation, we'll talk to you next week.
Today's episode is brought to you by Champs Chicken. For deals, discounts, and updates, check out champschicken.com/connect. Be sure to stop by next week for another episode of QSR Nation. And be sure to check us out online at pfsbrands.com/podcast.